Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And today is SUPASHOW. And I am in Mamaroneck, right? Is that where I am? Yeah. I'm in Mamaroneck at ESU headquarters. And we are doing a SUPASHOW today. And I got all these cameras and angle 1, angle 2. It's like Wayne's World. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
Don't forget camera 3.
I got, 3, yeah. I don't even know. Are there 3? I got lights and cameras and action and videos and all this cool tech stuff that I have no clue what the hell is going on. So tonight I am here with MMR's own Rob Mush. Rob Muschetta. We call him Rob Mush, and we'll get the story on why you Rob Mush.
That's right.
Because I don't know how many men would want to be called Mush, but you know, I'm going to let that one go. But today we are joined forces, right? We have Mindcandy Monday and Real Talk Tuesday, so it's like Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't even know what day it is.
It's a special, I never know what day it is, so we're all good. But I know I'm supposed to say I do say Happy Tuesday when I start my shows, so, you know, we're good. So I want to introduce everybody to Mr. Rob Mush. Welcome.
Up? Hey, Karen, how are you?
I am, well, I mean, I'm a little stressed out because you're a perfectionist and everything had to be perfect. And I walked in here and you asked me if I wanted wine or anything before the show. I'm like, no, I'm good. And now I'm like, where is it?
Well, if we didn't have that technical difficulty a little bit earlier, you know, we would have gotten the vino, but you know, we'll see what happens. You know, maybe we'll still send out for it.
Listen, I am, as I look around, I don't think you guys can see what's behind the scenes here, but it's unbelievable. Like, there's lights, camera, action. We got people on one end, people on the other end.
Yeah, we do. We got a little crew here.
It's amazing, and I thank you guys so much for being here with us to make our SUPASHOW work. And we kind of just talked about, like, we were trying to do a show together, and right. You and I do talk on occasion. We might even like each other, one might say. And, we talked about doing something together, and we weren't sure what. And then, I don't remember which one of us, I think you mentioned it, we kind of both just said.
Well, in the beginning of the new year, I said that maybe that would be a nice little touch, and I was just trying to figure out my schedule. And, now I only do the first Monday of the month on the radio, just because my winter schedule is even more bananas sometimes than my spring and summer.
Which, thank you for sharing your one month day with me.
Yeah, no problem. So I think that's how it came about. And I was like, well, let's look at the calendar. Maybe it wasn't right for January. I forgot the reason and that sort of thing. But, February seemed to work out great. Yeah. I know a lot of people were expecting the show last night. But, now they have the SUPASHOW tonight where...
SUPASHOW.
We'll do some real talk. We'll do some DJ. It'll be quite interactive and fun. And I think it's also some of the stuff that we've talked about in regards to where you're, trying to take the show on the road a little bit.
Absolutely.
And,
pop-up.
Yeah. And us DJs do these pop-up mixes.
Yes.
Why not Karen Stacy?
Well, because Karen Stacy doesn't know how to plug in all this stuff and make it work. I'm pressing buttons. I'm like, what am I doing? And I can't do none of this. I mean, I walked in here, I feel like a superstar. I'm like, I got lights, camera, and action.
You're welcome. Well, I mean, this is how we do it here at my place.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So now, tell me about where I am here. I mean, I'm looking around. I see invitations. I see these beautiful wedding, they look like cakes, like boxes.
Yeah.
I see photos. I see.
Yeah, you see a lot.
Well, but everybody can't see what I'm seeing, so I just want everybody to know what I'm looking at.
You see a lot of bling, that's for sure, right?
A lot, yeah. Well, and I love bling.
I know, so that's why I made the girls put extra bling out for you.
Extra bling. It's definitely, I mean, there's a lot in here. So, so now what is it exactly that we're in ESU, which stands for?
Entertainment and Sounds Unlimited.
Okay. And what does that mean? What do we do here?
you're here at our Mamaroneck location, which is at 623 East Boston Post Road. We share a space among a few vendors in the wedding business and in the party business. It was a concept that I thought about 6 years ago when I moved my office from the Bronx, to Westchester. Because originally I'm a Bronx boy, and
we're gonna get into that.
I'm sure. And for me, finding the right niche and the right group to be with and that sort of thing was very important to me.
Right.
So the one main person that's here with us is Maria, and she shares the space with me on the office side of things, called Impressive Invites. So that's why you see all the bling in all the invites.
So not to interrupt you, meaning that when you say invites, you mean like she does like wedding invitations or party invitations?
All the time. And she's probably done tons of people that have interactions with us or know us, out there.
Which is great because it's a one-stop shop.
That's the whole idea and the concept behind what I tried to create. It was like, let's make it a one-stop shop. We had a travel agent for a number of years.
Nice.
So we were wrapping
book the
honeymoon too.
Yeah.
And then our services include DJs, photo booth, lounge.
What does lounge mean?
Furniture, decor, lighting.
Setting the tone.
Yeah, then we have all of our pro photo and video department. You're experiencing that tonight. And it just makes it a lot easier for everyone to come on in and sit back and relax and know they can be taken care of, from the get-go. So that was my vision. So you're here at headquarters, and people come on in, they meet us, they talk to us. We try and detail their event. We try and make it extra special because it's not so cookie cutter, and the way I like to do things is very personalized, and so that's kind of where you're at. I mean, you ever come on this side of town? Because usually you're
I got to tell you, when I drove over here, I have taken my child to PM Pediatrics across the street.
We've all been
there. And then I've been to Sedona, which when I got out of the car, I could just smell the steak. And then when I got out of the car,
I think I may smell it now.
I was hoping you were doing takeout or something, because I was like, wow, that smells really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not totally familiar with this area because I get lost going around the block. But yes,
Mamaroneck's a nice town.
It's a great,
It's a great shore town. There's a lot to do.
There's a lot on the water too, which you're very close to.
Which is what I wish I had a boat here on the water, but that's one of my loves. And,
I hear you. So basically, if someone was to come to you, it would be, I mean, you encapsulate everything. So we have if they're getting married, they can get their invitations.
Sure.
And now they don't have
a party, just bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah.
Right, understood.
L'chaim.
Yes, right. Shabbat shalom, as Anthony Mangini would say. But it just makes it easier in the sense because now, like, a lot of times you get a DJ and then now you got to find a camera guy, and then you got to find, sometimes I know camera and videographers work together now. Years ago, I mean, like when I got married, everybody was on a separate thing. So you had to find this one, that one, and, your head started to spin.
Yeah.
They would recommend, but you never had everybody in the same house, so to speak. Right. So I guess, if I ever get married again, it'll be a lot easier. Now that I know all you guys, I'm going to come out in a carriage.
With all the DJs they could only get a half-hour set or something like that.
This is true.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to insult anybody, right, Karen?
No, I would be honored if anybody wanted to jump on board. I hopefully we won't need walkers by then.
I doubt it.
I can't say for sure. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We are on location in Mamaroneck, New York at ESU. And I have lights, camera, and action going on right here. We are doing a super show. And we are here. Real Talk with Karen Stacy and Mindcandy Mondays on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's like upside down day.
Yeah, we're going to just do we're going to freak everybody out tonight.
Yeah, well.
Because I am going to DJ. I am going to DJ for everybody.
I think I freak people out on a normal basis. So, that's not really saying anything new. But yes, we are going to listen to some music, and I'm hoping, all my favorites. So I'm hoping I'm going to hear those. But before we do that, I did like a recap show, I want to say like around New Year's. I don't have to tell you how much fun it is doing live shows and how everything can go wrong, right?
Right.
So even today when I walked in here, there's like 16 cameras set up here, lights, everything, and he couldn't connect to something of the connecting and the thing, and it wasn't talking to the other thing, and blah, blah, blah.
We needed one piece of equipment to talk to another. So we were, we got through that though.
It must have been a female. It just wasn't talking. Right. So they finally got everything to talk, and Rob, I think, was like pacing. I think there's like holes in the rug from where he was walking back and forth.
Because I'm a perfectionist. I
was just about to say.
I had a vision for tonight, so the vision had to come through.
And I just said, okay, Rob, whatever you want, because I have visions too, but my visions are a lot, I can work within visions, and if you're making it better, I'm all over it. But anyway, so yes, Rob is a perfectionist, and so what I really want to do is, like I said, we did a recap, and a lot of our loyal listeners said that they wished that more of our DJs would come on Real Talk. And, I did have Anthony, Gino was on, and, he talked about Cruise and all of his movies and stuff. And I had, Anthony on. And I know a lot of people had said, how much they loved those DJs. And then after they saw them and listened to them, that they loved them even more because they understood what made them tick. So it's not just the person behind the music. It's the the person. I'm sorry. It's not just the music. It's you're in front of it.
You're putting the person now in front of these people in a different capacity than just being screened, I guess, behind the speaker. Because that's all really you would know if you were just listening, to the stream on MMR or TuneIn, which I highly recommend. Okay. Everyone download the TuneIn app. That's the best way to listen to MMR because it goes uninterrupted, and you can also then, on your mobile device or whatever, you can find, you can go do your other stuff. Like you can check your email. You could be on believe it or not, another website, and the stuff it doesn't go down.
But when I go on the MMR website, I can fish around, and I'm still playing.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I have an iPhone, you have an Android, so maybe that's why. Maybe we're not compatible. But the cool thing about the TuneIn app too is that when you have that CarPlay thing, it shows up on your screen and you can just hit it.
Exactly.
So that's even cooler because it's like right there. But so now, as I always say to everybody, who are you? Who are you, Rob?
The $1 million question, huh?
Who are you? I know, and a lot of people don't even know how to answer that question, I'll give you a minute.
Who am I? I mean, God, I think I could probably talk the whole show. No, just kidding.
That's okay.
In all seriousness, I'm a boy from the Bronx. I grew up in Country Club, which is an area that a lot of people know of as... They don't call it the Bronx. It was the country club. Like you didn't grow up in the Bronx.
Right.
You weren't on Fordham Road or deep in Arthur Avenue. But you know what? We went there. We explored all those areas. I mean, Pelham Bay is my area. We ruled it. We had a great childhood. I wouldn't have given it up for the world. We were explorers. We ventured out. As kids. It was just a great place to live, to grow up. I mean,
easily accessible to Manhattan.
I mean, we would go up to Crosby Avenue, Bureau Avenue all the time, and when we were of the age of exploring, get on a train and get down to the city, or just take a joyride somewhere. Or I mean, we had Pelham Bay Park at our disposal. We had the Long Island Sound, stone's throw away. We had so many avenues and street corners and areas to hang, and it was all just great. I mean, it was a great childhood. I tell my son all the time, my little guy, he's 9, Jake. I was like,
I didn't know our sons were the same age.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that.
And no problem. And I was like, Daddy, there was no like the way Mommy and Daddy take you to these games and these organized things. Like there was very minimal of that. And you know what?
Yeah.
The ones that I was on, I went myself. I took my bike.
Yeah.
I walked.
Now you would get arrested for that.
Yeah.
If you let your kid go someplace by themselves, that's it, you'd be arrested.
I freaking walked to my grammar school to go to the basketball game, or to participate in an activity. I mean, it was wild. I mean, I used to ride my bike everywhere. That was my freedom as a kid.
Yeah.
And
you didn't have to wear a helmet.
Yeah, kids don't really have that these days.
No.
I mean, and one thing I always tell them too is, like, on a Saturday afternoon, you'd find like 100 kids with their football equipment, when it was football season, head to the park, and we'd have these pickup games and just like all this fun stuff. I mean, my dad was in car audio when we were growing up, so he had I'd say a very successful business. I look up to my dad a lot, for a lot of this inspiration. My mom, an amazing woman, very tough.
Oh, I met them, actually. I met both of them
at Body Mechanic, part one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about part two later.
We can do that.
But basically, that family, growing up in an Italian family, good cooking, being around your cousins and your extended family around the holidays. I mean, that was my early childhood. It was amazing. I went to Catholic school. I loved it.
You didn't get beaten by the nuns?
I got my ass kicked. I was the worst. I was one of the worst. I was always in the black book. I was always getting in trouble. But they always said that I had a little bit of this personality, that got me out of the trouble. And so I thank God for that. And, I guess I was decently good with the books too, Okay. So I guess being a little smart, being a little, having a little bit of a
street smart,
having it all. It was just a great childhood. I mean, I loved it. And, getting back to my father, I think, his influence was more of like osmosis. It was like, he'd come home, he'd have like some kind of tape player or recorder or something he'd bring down, or, be like, hey, give this to you and your brother, share it. We'd fight, he'd have to get two, and that sort of stuff. But I think that's kind of like where a little bit of this, where this voyage and this passion kind of came from. It came from being around my father and his audio business. He used to install radios, car alarms, do all the stuff that now you get already done from the dealer and the factory. Like all that was aftermarket. And, he had a great crew of guys that went out all day long to all the dealerships and would put an 8-track in your car.
Right.
And put a car alarm in when those things, or the Benzie box when they were ripping out the radios and all sorts of that stuff. So when I was a teenager, on weekends, I used to go there a little bit, like on a Saturday, and help him out, So I was like the shop rat a little bit. And, and then I became very good with the sales. So I was like actually like in the front and like helping out like with people and greeting them and talking to them. And then I was actually selling stuff for him, on occasion, and, put a work order together. And he'd be like, you were able to get $2,000 from this customer and we're going to do the install now? And I was like, yeah. He goes, oh man, great job. Just, keep it up and that sort of stuff. So music, that whole being around that sort of stuff, I think that's where it brought me today. My love for and my passion for my music, the industry, and all this that you see here, the lights, camera, action, Karen.
Yeah. Well, it's all about what we're exposed to, and I mean, like my son is like I've put him in everything. I tried, I tried the karate, I tried the baseball, he is, he's interested for the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm so tired today. I'm like, no, what? You don't even sleep. What do you mean you're tired? Yeah. Like now you don't want to do it?
Right. That's their way out of it.
Right. And so I knew the excuse. But funny that you say, because, I've always been, in the entertainment business my whole life.
Yeah.
So like, go figure that my son is excelling in drama and had the lead last year in his show.
Well,
and he didn't want to do it. He goes, Ma, I don't want to do it. And he goes, I'm the lead. I go, Noah, why wouldn't you want to do it? You're the lead. Like, you got it. Like, of course you got to do it.
And they're believing in him, so he should follow that.
And right. So, I mean, and I went through all of those things. But now, like,
maybe he needs to hear from a few other people. That could be like a little...
No, he just needed the little bit of a push. And then, he needed a little bit of the too bad. You committed to it and you're doing it, and that's it. Right. But, no, I mean, I talked him into it. But like, he's saying to me now, like, he watches all, this YouTube crap. And
they all do.
All these guys, and they all yell. I don't know what, I don't know, I hope I don't sound like I'm yelling right now, but I swear to God, I listen to these idiots, and I just call them idiots, and God bless them, because I must be the idiot, because they're making $18 billion, and and they yell the whole time, and they do the dumbest crap ever. But he emulates these guys, and like, he has his own YouTube channel, and he does
Your
stuff.
son.
My son has his own YouTube channel. I believe it's
Noah Nerf.
Yeah, Nerf Noah. And so he tells me that when he gets older, that maybe he'll take over my show for me.
Yeah.
And he said, because he watches these shows that have narrators, so now he says he's going to be a narrator, because this is what everybody does now. They talk about everything that they're doing. Right? So they're narrating everything that's going on, but it comes from somewhere. So you grew up in that environment where you were around electronics, you were around all of these things, and then you happen.
It's one of my,
your personality, though, did that come from your? Was your father like a sales? Like, you got to have that.
My father was the guy.
He was the guy. Yeah. So you got that from him. You listened to him.
They love Bob.
Everybody loves Bob.
Everybody loves Bob Machetta. Yeah, right.
But, and that's where you learn it from. And I think, it's great that you were exposed to it, because you know what? You could have completely gone in the other direction. You said you have a brother?
Yeah, my brother Mark, yeah.
Only
just one, just us two, yeah.
Just you two. And what does he do as a career?
He's in the restaurant business.
Okay. So, again, in the service business, but a different animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Because so you followed in one step, and is there anybody in the family that did restaurant stuff?
Yeah, all my mother's side of the family.
There you go. So you took after Dad.
But it's funny, later on in our years, we bought a restaurant from my aunts, my mother's aunts, my great aunts, that kept the lineage, in our family in Throgs Neck.
Love that.
For a very, very long time.
What was it called?
It's called Louis Seafood. It was on East Tremont Avenue.
Yes.
Right across from Sisto.
I didn't know that was you.
The funeral parlor.
Absolutely, I know it.
So the venture started, early on, with like my grandparents and aunts. It was all my grandmother's sisters and their husbands, basically.
Okay.
And they started in 1947.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in 1996, no, it's not 1996. It was 1992. I was a sophomore at Fordham. That's when we got wind, because I used to work there. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about that too. Okay. I used to work there
doing what?
As a teenager, busboy, waiter, bar back, whatever, and
whatever was needed.
Whatever they needed. It was a good time too. The neighborhoods were changing a little bit. There was a lot of nonsense going on. You didn't know if you were going to wake up alive or dead, and then, gangs and all the nonsense of that sort of stuff. So that restaurant actually helped me get out of that scene a little bit. That
every time I try to get out, they pull me back.
So that's like high school. I mean, I went to OLA, so my grammar school was absolutely amazing.
What's OLA?
Our Lady of the Assumption.
Okay.
And we're still really, really tight. There's people here on MMR, some of our listeners that, shout out to Ruben Casado, Anna Scavone. I mean, there's lots of people that, listen in that are nestled in that class of 86, 85, 87. We're all in that same age
When did you
group.
Graduate? What year?
86.
Okay, I graduated in 87.
Right, so we're planning a reunion for 86. I'm going to talk more about that with everybody.
Oh, boy.
But from OLA though, I wound up going to Fordham Prep, which was, I was only one of the three boys, that got accepted or actually took that route. A lot of guys went to Mount or Spelman, God bless them, or headed off to public school, to public high school. And I think Fordham, being at the Prep, was influential in just changing my life and molding me. Became the person I am. Wear my heart on my sleeve, give back a lot. The Jesuits, they do a great job with their education model. I'm a huge fan of them.
Can I ask you a question, though? That's an all-boys school, right?
Yeah.
So what do you feel about that? Because I part of high school and part of growing up is socialization and learning how to be around the opposite sex. and all of the crap that brings. So I was always curious what it does for a person in those formative years not to be around, like you're not around girls, you were just around boys. What was that like?
I think it was fine because, especially at that school and at that time, in that time in history, if you want to call it that, we're talking 90 to 94, there was plenty of interactions with women, with girls. There was the sister school. They came down. I mean, you were in clubs. So, like, there was a lot. And the school brought, the two sexes basically together in those kind of capacities. There were school dances. I mean, we had the best school dances anywhere. I mean, the Mountain had awesome ones too. But, the Spanish club dances, we had Judy Torres. We had...
Wow.
Oh, yeah. We had John Gungi Rivera as the actual DJ.
Wow.
So here's where I was around the music, with my pop.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing freestyle artists. I'm a freaking freshman in high school. And then sophomore year, we we're like ruling the place a little bit, even though because, you're not the rookies. So like you're the wise guys. The sophomores were the wise guys.
Right. You weren't wet behind the ears anymore.
Yeah. So Judy Torres. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, and more. We saw the Rio sisters. I mean, people were trying to get into that. I mean, adults were trying to get into these dances. They had to shut them down. Like it was that crazy. And it was a great time. That for me, like being part of that. So I was like. There were plenty of girls to have fun, but I got to tell you though, in high school, and even in grammar school, I had my one girl. That was my wife, who is my wife now.
You were with her
fifth grade.
Wow.
Fifth grade.
I don't hear that anymore.
Fifth grade, I used to stare at Dorothy,
and
there used to be our English teacher that used to read a book to us at a certain point of the year. It's kind of the springtime. And I'd just stare her down the whole freaking time. The whole freaking place was like, the whole class was like looking. And I didn't, lay off. I was like, so, we had that like little whatever she would say it was nothing. For me it was,
something.
It was something, but, you're in grammar school. What are you doing, honestly?
Right.
No offense. You're not really doing
well,
much.
actually, not then.
Right, exactly.
Not then. Now they're getting pregnant, but that's a whole other freaking story.
Yeah, but thank God, we don't have to deal with any of that sort of stuff. But like even holding hands or
we are going to have to deal with that. Hello.
But going to the movies or holding hands was a big effing deal.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't even do that.
Listen,
God forbid I put my hand on a knee in the movie theater.
Would she smack you?
She'd push it away in a second.
See, that's a lady.
Yeah. And then, we
Where's that Alanis Morissette song?
In high school,
go down on you in hot theater.
High school, on and off, we did our thing. We had fun,
right.
But
we don't need to know about that.
Ever since college, we've been together, And now we're married 21 years coming up, in June. So
God
it's like,
bless.
wow,
And that was
going
to be
heck?
So
we're probably celebrating, 35 or whatever
right.
the hell it is.
No, you're celebrating like a lifetime, really, a lifetime.
Yeah,
and now
she's my rock. She's my rock.
Well, God bless. It's good. Everybody should have a rock. So now you have, you just said your 9-year-old son. You have a daughter as well?
I have 2 daughters.
You have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So you guys were busy over these past couple. No more knee slapping from the movies anymore.
Spread them out a little bit.
Oh, my.
We spread them out. So
how old?
Victoria is 18.
Wow. You have an 18-year-old daughter.
Yeah,
okay.
I have an 18-year-old, one that's driving, one that's in college, and,
All right, wait. 18, and what's the other one?
She'll be 16.
16.
Soon,
So there wasn't a lot of movies going on in the house. There wasn't a lot of cable because he's 16, 18.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And
so
then
that's Victoria,
9.
Daniela, and Jake. Yeah.
So you took a break, a little 8-year break in between.
Yeah, we should have went for number 4. We always say that, but it never happened.
God bless.
That's all right.
I don't know. They say after you have 3, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, no, I know. You're probably right.
Just have more.
Right.
I mean, I have no idea. I have 1, and But that's so. All right. So you guys have been together for 100 years. God bless. And now so she's been with you through all of your business ventures and everything thus far, right?
She's been through everything, absolutely everything, and she probably could have walked out a long time ago with all the drama that's been associated with all the different things that I get involved with, and like I said, she's just been my rock, and she's the stable one in the whole thing, and she's very sensible, you know. I don't listen to her that often, which is bad on my part because I'm that go-getter crazy man. But, you know, love her to death.
Right, you need that balance. And you know what? Sometimes you could be crazy and you could be very headstrong, which I see you're both. But when she knows you well enough to know that she can whisper in your ear, she's going to plant it there, and you're not going to listen right away. But when you stop for a minute, and you might put your head down on the pillow for the 5 minutes that you probably sleep at night,
that's about it.
It's going to hit you, and you're going to think, like, what did Dorothy say? Oh, you know what? Maybe she's right about that. Maybe I need to rethink that. And we do, you know, and that's,
as I gotten older, definitely that's been the approach.
Of course. Sure. Well, listen, when you're young, you know everything. So, you know, and what's she going to tell you? I mean, you know. Right. And then you learn when she's right most of the time, because people that are on the other side of things are looking at it very differently than you are.
Right.
When you're passionate about what you do and you do it from your soul and from your heart, you open yourself up to a lot of, you use the word drama, I would use the word shit. I mean, I don't even know what the right word is to use.
Yeah.
You open yourself up a lot to those things, because when you are passionate and you want to make people feel good, you want to, you know, do all these things, you just jump right in. And thankfully we have people that say to us, hello, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, maybe step back a sec, maybe, you know. So it does get a little bit tricky when it comes to that. Are we good? You're looking all over the place. What are you looking at? Are we good?
I think we're getting.
Are we getting close to where you want to play some music? Because we haven't even like touched the surface yet. We got, like, I mean, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
No, I think we're good. Why don't we talk a little bit longer?
Okay.
Why don't we get to whatever else you want to?
Well, I would like
and then
to
I'll jump on the mix for a little bit. We'll like create a little dance party.
Okay.
A little Mindcandy session.
Start dancing. Well, we talked about, first of all, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Real Talk with Karen Stacy and Mindcandy Monday on MiamiMikeRadio.com. We are on location at ESU in Mamaroneck, New York, and I got lights, camera, action for our Superstar show. So we talked about, we're here in this beautiful showroom, and we talked about you as a family man.
Thank you.
We know like a little, now I need more. So like what, so you were in the, you helped out in the restaurant things, you helped your dad.
So my dad, and then going to the high school that I went to, I think that was like the kettle that began cooking this DJ.
So the DJ high school
passion, right? Because what happened then,
because of all the freestyle and everything that you got, and
what happened then is, you know, a couple of guys approached me and they were like, "Rob, your dad has the shop. Could we get some equipment at a discount?" Two buddies of mine, Mario Nasinovich and Mickey Carosa, my dear friends, and they're like, "We'll put a group together, and then we'll." You know, your dad has a van. Maybe we could drive, get him to drive us around, and we'll talk to the priests at our old grammar school, and maybe we could start doing some of the teen dances and starting to DJ.
Smart.
And that's what happened.
Smart.
So it was like 3 of us with 15 crates of records, because we had to bring everything, and every man had to bring their stuff. Gear that, is so antiquated and old but we had our 1200s, we had a decent mixer. Sound system probably, in today's comparison was not that good, but, we had our gem sound speakers or whatever. And, we went and we knocked on the doors and we said, could we come and do the dance? And we didn't barely want any money. I think we tried doing a lot of them for free. Sure. Well, they gave us a chance because we were alumni, and that kind of started things a little bit. For me, it was like, wow, people had a good time. We were enjoying what we were doing. And then we started asking for a little bit of money, and we got some money. So now you're getting a little bit of money as you're a kid. What are you, 16, 17, you're still not driving yet. Back then in the Bronx, you couldn't drive,
Really? Everybody I knew had cars at that time. No, I lived in the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx. Everybody had a car.
Not 15 or 16.
17.
You had your permit, but you couldn't go out at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha,
you couldn't go out at night.
Yeah, see, I didn't drive until I was 21, so I wouldn't.
So long and short, we had to figure all that out.
Okay.
But what was going on was like, I was kind of taking the lead on a lot of the parties,
I find that shocking.
I became like a little bit of the main guy, and the thing dissolved. Yeah, I not for any in particular reason, but we just kind of outgrew it. Maybe I don't even remember.
Well, you were young, so.
Yeah. So you know what? But I just kept kind of doing it. They kind of gave it up a little bit, and I just kept going. And 2 speakers became 4 speakers, a new mixer, and this and a that, and working and hustling at the restaurant, and then getting that money. Going to my dad, getting the money. From working there, buying something. Like. Boom, boom, boom. Like I was moving. Moving. And then I started, and Frank C. could attest to this, because he too was in the game, the whole mixtape thing. I was a huge part of the Bronx with the mixtapes.
I remember those. They used to sell them at the tanning salon.
Every record shop. That's even getting a little bit older. That's like when we were in our 20s.
I know.
I'll talk to you about tanning salons too. Because,
oh, geez. Okay.
But we had mixtapes going on for a very, very long time, and people that know that art form, it wasn't easy. It took a long time. Lots of times you had to start over if you weren't on a reel-to-reel. I did them. Live and recorded live, and then, tried my best to EQ them and fix them up a little bit. But God, man, there were times you weren't happy with the mix, or it was a train wreck, and you're like, shit, I want to redo it. And you'd start all over, and then you have to start the whole damn thing over. And you were doing 90-minute tapes,
Gotcha.
So that was my saga, but we had a good run. I remember going to the record shop. I'd get test presses. I'd get the first release of TKA. I'd get like a lot of the goodies that weren't out just yet. And, I understand the copyright and all that other stuff. I get all that. I respect it. I respect all that. But, I was just doing my thing. Everyone was doing their thing. And,
right.
It was an honor to sometimes get those, and be the first one to play them for people because it invigorated them.
Right.
I don't mean to keep going back to Frank, but he always talks about this intro that on one of my tapes. I don't even remember it, but that motherfucker remembers it, Like he remembers that stuff, and I'm like, that's amazing.
You never know what's going to impact someone.
It's just wild. So we had that good run of mixtapes, working hard, and now I'm building momentum, and now I'm in college. So now I'm at Fordham because I went right to the university. I'm taking a science degree. I'm doing an undergrad in bio. I'm majoring in bio because I love science. Like that's another whole thing. I enjoy the sciences, nature, green thumb, you name it. I'm all in it. Show me a paramecium and I'm gonna fall in love. I made a video once to microbes moving, and I put different tracks to it, and they were under a microscope, and I edited
I hope you were really stoned when you did that.
No,
that's not normal, Rob.
I did some crazy shit.
That's not normal, Rob.
I totally did some crazy stuff.
Oh my!
So I'm taking these crazy regimented science courses, chem, biochem, you name it. Calc, organic chem, anatomy, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I love this stuff, but I'm not so sure what I want to do, I'm working, I'm hustling. Now I'm DJing a lot, believe it or not. I'm doing lots of private parties in college. We're doing everything at the university, and I'm like all over the place torn, So.
Right.
So it's just funny how things happen.
Well, how were your parents, though? Because, I know when, a lot of times...
They let me do my thing.
Because a lot of times my parents would say to me, if it was, between, get a real job, So DJing isn't, a real job in what I mean. And
I take
science,
that back now. You know that.
No,
right,
of
but
course.
No, that was a hobby at that point. That's really all it was. It was putting a little bread in your pocket.
Right. It's different. It was when I went to cosmetology school, and it's you're going to be a hairdresser. Like, really? You know what I mean? Like, all the things, and that's what you're going to be, a hairdresser? Like, get a real job, you know?
Right.
So, and it is a real job.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of hairdressers that do very well.
But I'm just saying that years ago.
Right, I know, that was the mentality.
There was a different stigma. Now you're just happy somebody has a job, period.
Right,
but, you know, and also having a trade separates you from everyone else, because now, I mean, look, you can go to college online and there's not even a professor involved. I don't even think.
The world is so different.
The world is very different.
But I was running my stuff like a business, you know, like I put a separate phone line in, you know, I had the cards, like I was doing it right, you know.
Right.
So.
But now there is a caveat to that, which a lot of people, as you just did a video with microbes, the caveat to your microbe video is, what did you end up doing with the science? You got a degree in that, correct?
I did. I got a BS, which doesn't stand for bullshit.
At this point, I think it does, right?
Well, no, because Bachelor of Science, and it's funny because I wanted to take a little time off after college. Not much, but I just wanted to figure out, was I going to commit to another school, master's, or, you know, professional school, or, you know, not. And throughout my college career, I was continually doing stuff down at Fordham, at the prep, at my old high school. I was actively involved coaching there, doing a lot of the music-related stuff, you know, dances, pep rallies, mother-son dances, the prom.
So DJing.
DJ-related things. So I get a call, you know, I'm just about, I'm pretty much graduated, you know, it's after graduation from one of the guys that, you know, was just one of my contacts there, was my old guidance counselor. And he's like, Rob, he's like, I want you to come in. Like, for what? I was like, the season's over, you know, there's nothing going on, school's out, kids are done. He goes, I want you to come in for a job opening. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, there's 2 science teacher positions opened. We have 2 guys retiring. I think you'd be a great candidate. And I'm like, Mike, I know nothing about teaching. He goes, we'll teach you how to teach. Besides, I've seen you. And he goes, I know you'll be a great teacher because I've been around you. He goes, you'll make a great teacher. We'll teach you how to teach. You know the content because you've already done it now, 4 years. And he goes, and you go get your master's. Come get your master's while working.
While working. So they paid for it.
And that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah, so now I have a master's in education that I got from Fordham after like 5 years being a teacher at the prep. I worked there for 9 years. And I taught bio and chem, and...
That's insane. That's insane.
You have no idea.
That's insane.
I loved it.
That's insane. I
absolutely loved it.
When I was in, I didn't go to college long. I went for like this much. And I used to teach, I was a dancer, and then I started teaching like aerobics and all that stuff. And I wanted to get certified, and you had to take a kinesiology and biomechanics class. So I can't add. I still use my fingers till this day to try to add.
Okay.
So when I was in that class, I heard wah, 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 wah. I'm like, the angle of the muscle of the this, that is in a language that no one can understand, and that is the world that you lived in. Like I take my hat off that much more, because I tried that for like 8 minutes, and there was no way.
My wife too, she's an RN, so like that sort of stuff.
God bless.
We love and we enjoy it, and it's, you know,
so
it's just one like cutout of the whole thing, you know. It's wild though.
But it makes like, you who you are, you know.
Right.
But now, so while you were teaching science, you were going for your master's.
I was still running a small business, but it was growing. It was growing by leaps and bounds. It was like to the point where like, holy moly, this is like, we're like doing a lot more than you can.
And how did you handle that? Because you're anal. So, like, it's not like you're going to send somebody to do it, because if they don't do it the way you want them to do it, you'll flip out.
No sleep. No sleep.
Oh, okay, you did it. Okay.
No sleep. You know, we figured it out, and it really just all came together. And, you know, put a good team, though, behind you, too. It's important. You know, I got great guys. A lot of them are still with me since almost day one. Wow. And if they're not with me, they retired, basically. They've gotten out of the game.
Right.
You know, like, there's not been too much flip-flop where somebody that works for me now decides, I'm not, you know, he's not doing me right. I'm going somewhere else, and that sort of stuff. So I take that as a compliment. but I'm nothing without my team. You know, I mean, the guys here tonight.
Yeah.
You know, they're behind the scenes. We got Brian, he's doing all the switcher. I got, you know, Scotty, one of the best DJs in all of New York, K104 radio DJ. He's my right-hand man. I mean, he can mix it up with anybody. I think he's the best, to be honest. Blows me out of the water. You know, we know each other a long, long time. They've been with me a very, very long time. And, you know, the other guys that started as babies, as kids, they just don't do it anymore. You know, it's just like, okay, it's, you know, they had their time and they've turned the page on it. You know, they didn't like say, oh, I'm going to go now somewhere else to another shop and that sort of stuff. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, it should make you feel good. I mean, you know, this isn't easy, and you know, one last thing that we'll address before you start playing music is, you know, balancing all of those things. You have a father of 3 and you have, you know, a wife and a happy marriage. So in order to have, well, I was going to say, I'm assuming, let me just
well, I know. There's some days are easy, some days are hard.
That's called marriage. That's redundant.
Add a DJ world on top of that, and you know how it is. It's not. It's not easy.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you're
an entertainment world, which is what we do now, and it's more than just DJ. It's production. It's all sorts of stuff. You layer all of that, and try and be a decent dad. Get to as many things as you can.
Right.
You know, try and be a good husband. Don't lose it. You know, but I do. You know, like sometimes I feel like I go home and that's where I blow it up rather than, you know, in front of my customers.
Right.
Because you can't.
Right.
You know, this is your business.
Right.
You got to like maintain all that, maintain your composure. And, you know, you have to lose it somewhere else.
Yeah. And I mean, so
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that's people don't understand. Like a lot of people think that, you know, you guys just, you know, you go out, you see all the pretty girls and, you know, you play music all night, you drink and, you know, you sleep all day in the morning. No. And I know what
about calling the people, booking the people, convincing them to come in, meeting with them. How many meetings before you get to the gig? Then you got to get the gig up and running. You got to prep the gig before you get it up and running. Then you got to execute the gig. Then you got to take the gig down. Then you got to start all over. In between all that, emails, phone calls, and we manage like 5, 6, sometimes 7 things on one day.
Yep.
And now all those pieces have to be good before they go out, and they're all moving. And then those little hiccups that come about, how do you put those fires out? You know, that's the hardest part, you know. I mean, good preparation, key. Can't always prep, you know, to 110%, but you want to be fairly good. And then you want to have your team with you because those guys, they know how to execute and they know how to, you know, get out of those little things that sometimes come up where, you know, you got to make sure at the end of the day, show must go on, and it's got to be spot on, ESU perfect.
So this is what you do this is like day, night, this is you. ESU is what you do. Yeah. Oh, I rhymed. ESU is what you do.
Right.
This is your thing.
So I do one other thing.
One other thing
besides, you know, I don't own, you know, I'm not involved in restaurants anymore. I used to do all that stuff. I don't teach, and that sort of formal capacity. I do have a winter residency at the Armory, which is the New Balance Track and Field Center in Upper Manhattan.
Okay.
It's across the street from Columbia Pres and New York Presbyterian and Columbia Medical. So it's right there on Broadway, corner like 168th Street, 169th Street, in the Heights. And it's the mecca for indoor track and field.
Okay.
I've been involved there since 1996, 6 or 8, I forget. But
and
it's
what do
a
you
very,
do there?
very long time. So I am the production manager and the creative director, and I basically manage. Like if you go to Madison Square Garden and you look up at the screen, and you see what's on the screen, there could be a commercial at the moment, an advertisement. There could be live coverage of what's going on, a statistic. So I manage the jumbotron. All the cameramen are under my jurisdiction. All the music that's played in the arena to pump up the crowd, to get the runners to go faster. I'm involved procuring all of that sort of stuff. When television comes, I'm their go-to guy because we marry TV with our facility. A lot of special events I help out with and manage sound, lighting, and all of that sort of stuff. I'm also the director of all the webcasts, and Brian, who's running the switch here tonight, he's He's my #1 technical director. He's amazing talent when it comes to that sort of stuff. So it's all production related. It's all relevant to what we do, but it's a heavy schedule. We do like 130 something meets between November, like Thanksgiving weekend and St. Patty's. So it's packed.
Wow.
Our biggest weekend is coming up Saturday, where we'll be on NBC TV.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that.
So Saturday, the Milrose Games coming to the Armory. And what's really been cool about the job there and being involved there is there's a few things. One, it goes back, what we do there is we have a foundation. So it's a nonprofit. And what we try and do is we have all these programs for children. I'm big into that. Like the kids, to me, it's like give them everything. I don't want to have anything. I want the kids to have it all.
Right.
I'm big in giving back to children and doing stuff for them. So, I get calls for the fundraisers all the time and this and sort of. I'm in 120% on all of them every time. So we have a foundation which builds after school programs for inner city kids to get them out of the street, out of the ghetto, and get them running, get them healthy, active. We run after school programs, all sorts of great stuff, which that to me, that's the Armory. But, I'll meet an Olympian, I met Carl Lewis. I've met, Natasha Hastings. I met like people that, are on billboards. New Balance just signed Sydney McLaughlin. She's like in the middle of Times Square right now. One Olympian, before she was an Olympian, she made me DJ her prom. I'm the only white guy probably ever to DJ A. Philip Randolph. It's an inner city high school, prom. Those are great memories. I've seen records and world records broken and all sorts of stuff. And to me, that's like been a second home. It's a very challenging season. It takes a lot on the family and even the business, but I'm all in, I'm all in because there's a mission there. I'm all about the children.
That's awesome.
I really am, anytime.
That's awesome. So, all right, so now are you want a break and
I think we'll take a break, and I think we're going to come live.
So what are we doing with music tonight?
All right,
that's
good. So let's segue. We're about an hour in. So Mindcandy Mondays. Let's explain that because.
Please. I thought you were just some crazy guy trying to push candy on kids.
No. I love candy, and I could eat candy all day long.
Oh my.
Okay, so and that's probably why I'm sometimes wacky. Coffee and candy. Great.
There you go.
I'd have a piece of candy over a piece of pie, and there's certain candy, but let's not get into that. But you were talking about tanning salons,
right?
Okay, so back in the heyday of when we were going to the clubs, so Twilo, Tunnel, Sound Factory. I mean, you name it. Those big room clubs.
1018.
Before that were the freestyle places and all of that.
Heartthrobs.
Yeah, I mean, we did all of that. But then when the music started to change over and we got away from the freestyle and that
house.
That soulful house. Like when that kind of, and it's still around, don't get me wrong, but like when we kind of got away from that and now it became like the techno scene.
Yeah.
So like Limelight and going to listen to Charlie Casanova. I mean, I went to, the Tunnel. We went, and then the Mecca for me was the Sound Factory. Right. That's where we went all the time.
I never went there.
You should have gone.
I never went there. Too many, everybody was tripping on, what was it, ecstasy?
Whatever. At that point, we were all kids. And
but it was like you didn't go there till 3 o'clock in the morning. And everybody.
You could have went a little bit earlier.
All right, 2?
Okay. I know.
No, that wasn't my scene. I didn't do the drug scene.
So there you go. It's fine. I mean,
saying.
Bottom line was, when Jonathan would play and then other DJs like Hex or, Johnny Vicious. I mean, like when those guys were playing, even Junior Vasquez. I saw him live in Miami at my bachelor party. Like these kind of things, like this became like our life, like our crew. Guys, girls, everyone. We were going, and that's what we were doing. So one night after the club, we went back to my parents' place where I was living downstairs, because we're still young. We're in our 20s. And me and my brother-in-law, Joey Palillo, who's one of my DJs and part of my team, we were like, let's make a tape, because CDs were just starting right then.
Right.
He's like, let's make a tape. I'm like, are you bugging out? He goes, yeah, I'm bugging out. Let's go. So we made a 110-minute tape, cassette, 110 minutes. We didn't like 3 of the mixes. We did it again. 110 minutes. After the second time, we loved it. And we had people there hanging with us. And they listened to the 2 sets. And then one of my buddies, Ricky, came up to me. He goes, we're going to call this Mindcandy, because that's what it is. And that's how the freaking name happened.
That's awesome.
So Mindcandy became this, again, mixtape and then CD phenomenon.
Gotcha.
With our names on it, but, in disguise. And we just had a lot of fun with that back in the old days, man. And
That's cool.
We had CDs in every tanning salon everywhere. I mean, from we had them in Philadelphia. We had them throughout the 5 boroughs. A little bit into Boston. I had kids, because not chat rooms, but like these message boards were popping up at that point, because the internet was just starting too. And you kind of just put it out there that you had a mix. And I had kids from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, ESU. It's funny. They were sending me checks, hard checks, and I would be mailing them out CDs. It was wild. It was a big hustle. But that's where the Mindcandy comes from. And
so you're going to make us a mixtape.
Well, we're going to make a digital form of that now. That's kind of the history of Mindcandy.
And now all of our listeners get that, because we're on, you have it on Mixcloud now. So, I was at the gym listening to, you on Mixcloud.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
So why don't we, let's do some Mindcandy.
Do it. Go for it.
All right. So what's going to happen right now is the screen's going to just probably put up either Karen's logo or my logo for a little bit. We're going to mix that up. I'm going to reposition a camera. We're going to go to the DJ booth, which is right over there. And I'm going to get set up. It's going to only take a minute.
It's like, please stand by while we reposition our cameras.
Let's do it. All right, let's have some fun. Welcome to the Super Show.
Woohoo! Super Show. Now, you got to do the arms, Rob, or else it doesn't count. You got to do the arms.
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. Okay, so we're setting up right now here at the DJ booth at the ESU Event Studio. Getting ready to go live with Mindcandy Monday/Tuesday with Karen Stacy. Rob Mush is on the set. I'm ready to have a good time with everybody. And Mindcandy speaks volumes of an old trip back in time, circa kind of mid-90s to early 2000s, when the vocals and the house music were just everywhere. And for me, it's a special place in my memory of growing up. And I'm going to pull up my first track, which I'm sorry I did not have ready, but we're ready now. So, as they say in Italia, andiamo.
You're listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush, live from New York City on MiamiMicRadio.com.
Somebody get my phone? sure the levels are good. I want to make sure the levels are good.
listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Bush, live from New York City on MiamiNetRadio.com.
Sonia, we heard this one you like. What up, Chrissy? Rob the King. Boosted. No Paul in the building. Oh yeah, Gina Marie Russo pulls up. Let's go.
entering the main dance You're listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush, live from New York City on newmicradio.com.
All right, we're good? We're good? Are we back? All right, well, that was fun. See, I can't make this stuff up, right? People do not understand that these shows are live.
100% live, baby.
No, like, we actually filtered just now because we walked from, point A to point B, and I was like, put them on, put it on, it's okay. We literally were just, like, he was jamming out, I'm jumping around, and I'm up way past my bedtime, Rob, yet again.
Come on.
No, but this music will keep me up.
Right.
And I swear to God, I thought it was a prop. When the cop walked in, I'm
just glad it was a young cop.
But don't you know all of them?
Yeah, I mentioned because we did somebody on the Force's wedding not too long ago. So
what happened? I thought I was getting a pillow from somebody. What happened?
I don't know if there are any pillows.
Well, there are no pillows. Sit up.
Go check.
That's all right.
Maybe check in the back on that other desk.
It's no big deal. Now that was really funny, and like I said, you can't make this stuff up. That was an actual police officer that walked in here, and even I wasn't sure what the hell was going on.
Maybe we got to lock the door for round 2.
Lock the door. I know. You never know who could walk in.
Jesus.
Well, where are we? We're in such a residential area that,
It's the people maybe across the street, he said.
People, of course, they can hear it across the street. You should tell them that I find the fact that I keep smelling their steak offensive so they can hear my music.
I doubt it's the restaurant.
I'm only kidding. Yeah. I'm just saying. Well, you said across the street, so right away my mind went to the steak.
Yeah.
That was...
I'm hungry myself.
I know. That was fun. I got to say. I mean, that music keeps me going. You know that I have listened to your show before, and I can't fall asleep afterwards because that is the problem.
I hear that from a lot of people. That's good. That's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah. No, you know what? It's not a problem. It's the right, everything is a stimulant, right? Well, not everything, but you want to be stimulated. So it's just at the right times that you want that stimulation. So we didn't really, speaking of stimulated, first of all, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have so many things going on over here. I don't know what feed we're on. I know we're on the Facebook Live on my group. So, I know there's a feed there, and Rob, I know, was responding to some while he was, mixing. I, of course, can't figure out where the hell I am on it, so don't mind me.
We needed my little techie Kevin here to manage all the social media.
Yeah.
But we'll get him back for another one, maybe.
That's okay, yeah.
In the spring.
It's all right, it's all good.
Your phone's blowing up.
Yeah, but it's Gina Marie because she was so cute. Gina Marie Colasar was taking pictures. She's taking snapshots of our Facebook Live, and she's sending me the pictures. It's really adorable and so sweet, and we thank you for being such a great supporter.
Great. You know how many times
she's amazing.
I've been in a jam, and I'd be like, I got no time to tag anybody tonight.
Yep. Her and Cole, Bill. Her and Bill are the mad taggers.
She'd come to the rescue in a heartbeat. She'd have like 30, 40, 50 tags in 5 minutes, and I'd be like,
absolutely.
Holy moly, how do you do that stuff?
We thank you. So we just want to thank you guys again for tuning in for our Super Show. And we are doing Real Talk with Karen Stacy and Mindcandy Monday, and we're doing it on a Tuesday. So we're just throwing it all off.
That's it.
And now nobody's going to know what day it is tomorrow. Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? We don't know.
Well,
right?
You know what day it is. It's going to be Wednesday.
I don't know what day it is on the norm. So actually, Rochelle texted me because when I posted the thing on Instagram, it puts the date, like if you do it in your story, it puts the date, I guess, that you originally put it on there. So it said February 1st, and since I really don't know what day it is, I didn't realize that it wasn't February 1st, but I said tonight, so people knew, but she texted me, she goes, and then I looked at the date, I was like, wow, it's like the 6th, right? Or the 5th or the 6th? I don't know what day it is, something like that, but I'm like, it's really far from the 1st. So that was kind of funny, but thank you guys for tuning in. So now, one of the questions that I always like to ask about too is, so is that your DJ passion? Like, when we had Anthony on, for instance, he's more of a club DJ. So he said, like, if somebody left him alone, he would go deep house. Like, that was his thing. What's your thing?
I'm definitely a vocal guy. What I played earlier is really what I enjoy because there's a lot of emotion behind the music and a lot of memory behind the music. But, you know, I mean, I've played plenty of trance. I've played plenty of freestyle. I've played, man, you know, disco or some of the old, like, Funhouse tracks. I mean, like, that sort of stuff is also, I think, a big influence on my life. Like, that music there. I'm a little bit younger to be able to get to the Funhouse. Most of the crew that's been there or people that have been there are like 50 plus. Mm-hmm. We were like right on the cusp of being able to get there in our lifetime. It's probably the one place, if I had, you know, besides family and that sort of stuff, but if there was one club, you know, out of all of them that, you know, that I ever wanted to go to, that probably would have been it.
Which one?
The Funhouse.
The Funhouse.
Sure.
See, I never went to Studio 54.
Yeah, they always said that was probably the place you wanted to go.
I was right before. I was going to Heartthrobs. I was 15 at the time.
Yeah,
I
you probably
hope my
21.
father isn't listening. I was 15 at the time. And we went to Heartthrobs, and that was all
Heartthrob
freestyle.
1018, because that's what it was.
Well, 1018 was after that, because Heartthrobs was like, that was 1985. So 1985, 86, and we would take the train down. We would drink what was that beer, the German beer? Foster's. We used to drink out of the can.
The Australian Foster's?
Oh, maybe so it was Australia, whatever
What
it was.
about like a Colt 45
or
no. You one of those? Come on, Karen.
Get out of here. No, we used to.
Old English. Come on.
No.
All right, I'm reaching right now.
No,
you're sophisticated.
No, I don't know what. I was real sophisticated. I was drinking a beer out of a freaking huge can on a train, and we would get down there. We had to pee so bad we would like run into one of there was like a parking lot right there, and we used to like run in the parking lot because we couldn't even hold it in to get to the club. So yeah, it was very sophisticated.
Wonderful.
Very sophisticated. But that music, I mean, that's why like all of this music, it does take me back. Like I listen to everything. You know, like we were talking about maybe the next, you know, when the next music that you play.
I know where I want to go.
That, you know, I am, you know, I'm a rock and roll girl, you know, too. Like, you know, I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. No, I'm a little freestyle and I'm a little rock and roll. So I like all of it, but I love anything that I can dance to. So that's why, like some freestyle, I like it, but it's slow. So it depends on which songs that they play, like India, Dancing on the Fire. DJ Serge plays that for me all the time. Him and I, that's one of our favorite songs. You know, that like
He's
gets
a good
you.
Guy. We're the two boys from the Bronx.
Yes.
That made it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, with this crazy business.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, no business is easy, and certainly with this, and you know, to like we said, to be married, you know, and then to have a family, and then to have a successful, you know, business, and it's a night life business. So, you know,
a lot of girls don't like that.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a hard thing too, because now I got all these, you know, you're my man, and I got all these women all over you, you know, at the, you know, at the turntables, and it's like, all right, you know, like, step aside.
If you're professional, you know how to balance that,
of course,
and manage that, and it's never really an issue, thank goodness.
Well,
which
it shouldn't
good
be,
because, you know, it's taboo. No need.
It's par for the course, and people know if you're with someone that is in the night. You know, I have people, you know, when I host events and stuff, and, you know, I take pictures all the time, and there's pictures of me with 100 different guys. And, you know, somebody is like on Instagram, like, oh, you're with this one. Oh, you're with that one. I'm like, hello? Like,
well, first of all, you're the biggest socialite in Westchester, so...
I wouldn't go that far.
I think you're up there, girl.
Oh my.
I think you're up there.
Oh
and
my.
Your job is to take pictures, but fun stuff and innocent stuff, and everyone
exactly
just having a good time. I mean, just capturing the moment and spreading the love of fun.
Well, like you said too, I mean, part of what I do is, if you're hosting an event, you're there to take care of everybody there. It's your job to make the music work, and then it's my job to make sure everybody is, working and playing well with others. And you have to be the hostess with the mostest, and
the host with the most.
Whatever the case may be. Yeah, exactly. So people don't realize that this is, but like, I love that. I love interacting with people,
Well, it takes a certain person to do that.
Absolutely.
A certain style, a certain personality. Not everybody's good that way.
Right.
Everyone has their own, things. But, some people, they're meant for it. They should be involved with it. It's what they do well, and it normally makes them successful. So,
well, the biggest thing in life, I think, is self-awareness, and you got to know where you're strong and where you're weak.
Right.
And if you're in an industry like this, then if you're not good around people, then you go behind the scenes.
Correct.
If you're good around people, then you go in front of the scenes.
Right.
You got to know where you fit.
If you're good in front of people, you become an MC. You become like a party motivator. Somebody that's leading the events, all of that sort of stuff.
Right.
DJs. Sometimes they're not the people
Sometimes people don't like to be on the mic. A lot of DJs just want to play music, and they don't want to be on the mic.
The mic is the biggest fear for a lot of folks.
Yeah, well, I mean, and listen, when you're up there, like right now, we're doing this show live, right? And people, like you were asking me before, well, what are we going to talk about? I don't write a script. I don't do nothing. I mean, I have notes so that I don't forget. Meanwhile, I haven't even looked at them because we just keep talking. But, you have to roll with it. And when something like that happens, like, our video guy filmed the cop, and he's asking, and
I can't wait to watch the replay.
Yeah, we're not live.
I'm going to kill Brian, but I love him at the same time.
Listen.
No, I think that was great because people would not believe that.
Look, it's private property, so aren't we allowed to do that? I mean, we didn't do anything wrong.
I don't think we're even late.
It's not late. It was 9:38. I mean,
all right, let's not worry about them. Mamaroneck cops, they're awesome. We love them. They take great care of us. We've done a few of their weddings, and
sounds good.
Let's move on.
We'll throw them a party.
Let's do it.
We'll throw them a party. We'll do a fun house party.
I'm very giving back to like the service guys.
Yeah, as it should be.
Whenever there's something in town. Fundraising event in regards to, police, fire, all of the first responders. I mean, that sort of stuff, without them, believe it or not, a lot of people would either not be here or be in a different place or, just, so kudos to them and the effort that they do.
No doubt.
And our military too and all that. I'm not trying to,
no doubt,
be a politician here and talk that stuff. That sort of stuff to me is important. I mean, and I don't get into politics. If you notice,
we
don't talk politics.
No.
We don't think about politics and that sort of stuff. But the bottom line is just a thank you to the service industry for everything that those men and women do all the time. It's
absolutely, absolutely.
It really goes. It really goes. Sometimes almost they don't get the recognition that they should.
Of course. Well, nobody does. I mean, you don't get the recognition you deserve either for, being awake 37 hours out of the day and not seeing your family and, and making someone else's wedding great when you don't even get to go to a wedding with your wife because you're too busy playing it.
There's been a lot of those. A lot of, hey, I'm very grateful for my friends because they always usually shoot either me or the missus a text and say, what's Rob's availability? Because we want to make it work. So they know how hard it is. The people that have been around me for a long time. So that sort of stuff.
It's a sacrifice. It's a big sacrifice.
It's a huge sacrifice. Nobody understands it.
No.
Nobody understands it.
It's a sacrifice.
You can't call out.
No.
If you want to be in this business
and
be successful, you can't call out. I mean, there's whoever. I mean, doesn't matter. There's people that call out. And when you call out, there's problems.
Right.
I mean, you destroy a lot of positive energy and a lot that goes into an event or the planning of an event, super quickly. I mean, it's one of the worst things I think you could do. I mean,
You always got to show up.
You got it.
You always got to show up.
You got to show up, and that Broadway slogan, the show must go on, is like crucial.
Yeah, well, I mean, and again, I was raised that way.
Me too.
And the show must go on. So, even like the past couple of weeks, every show that I had, the guest something happened with. Last week, Tony was supposed to be on. He got stuck at work. The week before, Rob McCabe was supposed to come on.
I know
he got sick.
People get sick. That sort of stuff happens. But I mean, I went to parties with, Kane. I went to parties with a signed waiver from, a doctor.
Right.
Saying, you got to go to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, I'll go to the hospital around 11. I'm going to go to the job for a little while, and then I'll, creep in. I had like an infection going up my leg. He's like, you got to go now. And I'm like, no, I don't think he's like, you got to go in 6 hours if you don't go now. He's like, but you got to sign this paper because I want you to go now, but I think you'll be okay like 4 to 6 hours. But if you said you want to go tomorrow morning, I'm going to say, Rob, you're going to have a real problem.
Oh, my.
So I've been like that.
You could have like grabbed a bottle of vodka and just poured it on your leg then. Maybe that would have killed the infection for the time being.
That sounds like...
Get some Everclear.
That sounds like putting Windex on...
Everclear.
Windex. My big fat Greek wedding.
I'm a coconut oil. My coconut oil is my Windex. I would have put coconut oil on it, and that would have...
I don't like any oils. I don't like anything anywhere.
That's all. Well, then don't get infections and go to work.
It was a long time ago, but... It was wild because I was playing basketball with the kids at school, after school. Okay. Wrong shoes, wrong sneakers, wrong everything. And my ankle just blew up. And then after that, it just kind of like took off on me. It was like crazy. But anyway.
All right. Well, now, listen, I have a question for you. What is one thing that you want everybody that's watching right now, like, okay, Rob, first of all, wait. Mush. Rob Mush. Did we talk about how you got that name?
No, we didn't.
Well, I was going to say, what is one thing that you want everybody to know, but now I digress. How are you a mush?
I'll get to the second thing, which I probably need a little time to think about, but mush. Okay, so.
This sounds funny.
In Italian, mushada means like, you're like, slow and maybe a little lazy, or you want to stay in bed a little longer. I mean, am I right?
You're a mush.
You're like a little
mush. You're not really there.
So I know that's not me because I am not a mushada.
Right. You're
right.
You're wound up pretty tightly.
The name came, I guess, probably an extension of my last name. So machetta is, the American way that you say it.
Okay.
My father and all my uncles would always say moschetta, and everybody that, is part of like, where they came from, first generation, which I am because, my father's born in Italy. Even though he became, very Americanized, he held on to his roots and his hometown and the mush came out in
the mush.
I think it was Paul Dushai, if he's listening, or Ivo Zadrima, he would know. These are my two Albanian friends. I mean, I had a lot of Albanian friends, and I still do. But these two guys were a couple of the Albanian guys at Fordham. And I remember Matt, this kid Matt, who was in our grade, Dobbs Ferry kid. God, I should remember his last name. He's going to kill me.
That's okay.
But he doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah, we won't tell him.
But Paul will remember. And we used to play handball on the back of the Preps building.
Okay.
And we played all day long, every free period that we had after school in the morning. It became a phenomenon.
Okay.
And that's where the mush.
What do you mean that's where the mush?
That's where the mush nickname came out because somebody said mushy.
Because you didn't hit the ball right?
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was just like, mush, boom. And and it was like one of those kind of things where an extension of the last name, maybe a shortcut, maybe a little nickname, maybe, who knows at that point. All right? And it just stuck. So they were calling me and my brother, because he was a little bit younger, but he was there too at that time, Mush. And I came back to my father and said, Dad, I was like, they're calling us mush at school. What should we do? He goes, don't worry. They called me mush when I went to school. So I'm like, son of a gun. It's
Well, it just sounds like a shortcut to your last name instead of it, it's a long name and people are lazy. Like people call me Ka instead of Karen because Karen is such a long name.
The mush just has stuck. And when I came onto Miami Mike Radio, I wasn't sure if I was going to, use it. And then Frank C was like, Rob, you're from the Bronx. Everyone knows you as mush. He goes, make sure you put that in all of the ads. Make sure you put that in all the advertisements. All of the flyers that you're gonna make, for your shows. Put mush. Trust me, it's gonna catch on just the way it used to, and just for the people that don't know, and it has, and it's it is what it is.
It's a lot easier. I mean, they don't call you Robert. Your name is Robert, right?
Never.
So you're Robert Machetta, and now you're Rob Mush.
That's it. And I've never been Bob or Bobby either, ever. And I know a lot of Robs that are Bobs and Bobbies.
Well, that's good to know.
I guess so. My dad's Bob. I always say when they call me Bob, like if I ever get introduced to somebody new, I'm like, no, I'm not Bob. My father's Bob. I'm Rob. That's it. I like Rob. I'm the king. I'm the king of the nickname. I give everybody a goddamn nickname, and I know sometimes.
Really? What's mine?
If I had to give you one.
Oh, now if you had to. You told me I was the brunette Marilyn Monroe. That's what you told me the last time. Yeah, that's what you said. But that's not a nickname.
Oh, no. I probably. But it wouldn't be original, so I'm not sure. I don't think I have a nickname for you. But I'm a big fan of...
But you have nicknames for everybody, but not me.
No.
It's okay.
Like
I'll put you on the spot.
Believe it or not, because I have a few people that are already like Special K, like there's one or two.
I used to be Special K.
There's like a girl that's been here, part of my team. She used to dance and like motivate, and now she's a little bit older, so she doesn't do that, but now she does more administrative stuff. Congratulations, she just had her second baby a week ago. So Kayla,
congrats.
You're our original Special K, but I would probably do a Special K, but because I already have that, I probably would do like K-Stay or something, like a Karen Stacy. Like I would take both of your names and like morph it, but I don't know. I mean,
I make up names for people all the time.
I think K-Stay is nice because it rhymes, but
K-Stay is cool, but it's longer.
It's longer than what?
Special K? I mean, people can't even get Karen out.
I only call my wife Daw, D-O-R, and most people say D-A-R, like Daw.
Or like Dot. A lot of people say Dot for Dorothy.
She hates that. Never call her Dot.
Most.
She had one lady that she used to work with back at an old jewelry store in high school that called her Dottie. That was the only person. Her name was Flo, so you can imagine she's old school.
Yeah.
Right? Have you met a Flo recently?
No, not recently. That's true. I come up with names for people, though, too. Like
I give nicknames to everybody.
I do, too.
And some people don't like that.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Whatever. I'd say the same thing. I give everybody a nickname, and sometimes Dorothy's like, you give everybody a nickname, but maybe somebody doesn't like that.
Oh, well.
All the young kids that come on board with ESU, everyone has a nickname. I gave this kid Frankie a nickname. We call him Frankie Pickles just because he didn't even order pickles at the diner after the gig. I wanted more pickles. I said, Frank, order more pickles, tell the waitress, because Brian could attest to this. We always get a soup and extra pickles. That's how we start all the time. And I was like, Frank, I already ordered twice the pickles. You got to do it now. So we gave him the name, Frankie fucking Pickles. That's it.
That's funny.
It's just everyone gets a nickname.
See, I do associations. Like there was a guy, for instance, a guy that we met, and every time I saw it, he had these huge muscles, and he had a turquoise shirt on. So I call him Turquoise. And all of his friends know. They're like, oh, Turquoise is over there, because I call him. I have a nickname when I was way back in the day. Oh, the widow guy. Like I have a nickname for everybody. My boxer. Like I give everybody a name.
Maybe it's a Bronx thing. I don't know. I just tend to do that, and I'm sorry if I've ever offended anybody, but it's all taken in good taste.
Come on, if you can't offend, it's a loving type of thing, in my opinion. You know, you're making an association. You're giving them something more. Maybe they don't like their name. So what's wrong with giving a little something, something.
Yeah.
All right, so now I don't know.
What was the big question? Do you want me to answer that one?
The question was, what would you like, okay, we did this, super show. And
I hope it's a super show to everybody.
It has to be a super show. This is so freaking cool. We got the cops came in. We got music. We got talking. We're good to go. We got 2 Bronx people, and everybody's not going that crazy over the accent because your accent is not that bad. Like when I had my Bronx guys. Did you know those guys like Bobby Mango and all of them?
Yeah, of course.
So like when we had the show together, that was the funniest thing ever because the accents were just like
off the chain.
Who wanted to kill?
But everyone knows
first.
I'm from New York when I talk to them.
Yeah, but
my mother just texted me.
Your mother texted you?
She's in Dominican Republic.
Oh, that's nice.
Check this out. Silent disco. Everyone has headphones on, and it's freaking crazy here.
You know what? And that's the new thing now. And I find that's how you know that we are in a world of no return. I get the idea, and maybe the cops wouldn't have come in if everybody had headphones on just now, but you put headphones on, and they have like 4 different DJs, to my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. They put headphones on, and everybody listens to whichever DJ they want to.
Yeah, you can do some channel mixing, right?
So now let's get this straight. Let's leave the house to not talk to each other.
Right. Or just to look at your phone all night long.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. So you're already fighting with the phone. So now we go out, we don't talk to each other. Now we don't listen to each other.
Right.
And spend money? Like I want to go out so I cannot socialize, spend money and drink and that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So that was like, to me, that tells you right where this world is that nobody is socializing with one another. We're going to put headphones on.
I think it's such...
Well, who does that? I could sit at home.
I don't even have the words for that sort of stuff. How do you not want to embody the music and feel the moment together? I mean, like, you're almost like... It's like, this is my world, and this is how I'm reacting to it only.
Right.
And you react to your own world that way, but I will have no interaction really with you.
Hello, welcome to this world.
Because I don't even think, we haven't done many of those with our event business, but the few that we've done, the kids are not like, they're not talking. They're not
interacting. Yeah.
There's no interaction. Back in the day, we used to be like...
Yeah, on top of each other, jumping, right.
Like that.
Right.
It was like, it was wild, you know?
Right.
It was wild.
Right. But you know what? Even now, I mean, you have a 9-year-old. So, my son's friends will come over, and they all are on their devices.
Right.
They're all straight across the couch. They're all on their devices, and they're playing whatever they're playing, and they're on their devices, but at least they talk to each other in the interim.
Well, they may be playing a game that involves them all, but
I know,
but it's so like... The world is very different, man. I mean, a lot of great things have come from the technology, but it's also, I think, done a lot of bad.
Yeah, because things are getting smarter and people are getting dumber.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, how are they ever going to solve world peace when nobody can talk to each other? If they're in that thing, they got the headphones on or whatever, they're texting each other do you like this song? Like, you're standing right in front of them and they're probably texting each other. Do you like this song?
Right.
Oh, that song was cool. Like, we have no interaction. Who are you trying to talk to?
I'd like to get my water. That's all.
Okay. He needs water.
My water that's up there?
Tech support. We need water.
No, it's there. It's right on the. It's on the DJ booth.
He
I just
left
need a little bit
his
left.
thing. See, this is what happens. It's a live show. We can direct people.
Why not?
I don't care.
I want my water.
Well, the guys, you were trying to be good and not do anything. But what the hell? Why not? We can
Is there nothing left?
Call it. Oh my God! You must have been very thirsty. All right. So now, getting back to the question before we go and play some more music.
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
is...
You're going to give me this tough question.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. What is one of the things, the most important thing that you want people to remember? So now you are Rob Mush. You have your show on Miami Mike Radio. You have ESU. You are, the Mush. And what is it that you want people to remember about you or know about you that maybe they never knew about you besides the fact that you were a science teacher?
Oh, wow. This is a hard question. And I'm not sure if I'm able to reveal something that would make everyone bug out or go crazy. I
don't need you to.
Probably say that for me, music has been one of my main passions, I guess, since probably I'm like, before my teenage years, to be very honest, because I've always associated lots of things with music.
Sure.
And I feel that for me, the music and what I can bring to people through the music and the moment that we can all share together is life-changing normally for me. Every moment that I've spent on the dance floor with people in lots of different capacities, I think about the smiles, the people having a good time, the total enjoyment. It's almost surreal sometimes when you're looking out at the crowd, and there's different crowds.
Right.
There's the private events, there's the club events, there is the mass, and you're just a participant in that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's been something in the music that's brought us all together, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. I think more than anything, I'm happy that I've been able to bring joy to thousands of people over my career, maybe tens of thousands, to be honest, because we're now like, I forget, but 47. I mean, we're like over 30 years in doing this, Karen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I'm in this thing well over 30
And what's beautiful
years,
is that your passion, though, is still there. So many people are beat down. People that work on, let's say, Wall Street, stock, the stock market, they're all popping Xanax because they're just miserable. Yeah, they're spending their money.
I thoroughly enjoy the moment with my people, no matter where it is, and feeling alive.
Yeah.
That's really it. So the one thing probably for me is like, I hope that I've been able to make people feel alive in the moment, whenever it's been, whether it's been through my music, through what we've played, through my energy of me speaking or talking, or the team behind me, or just being part of moments with other people, and just feeling that you can never die. You know what I mean? I feel like Peter Pan. I'll be honest. That's the one thing. Like, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to continue to feel like I'm Peter Pan. I'm going to keep on going for as long as I can. I want to hopefully live forever. It's not going to happen, but hopefully at the end of the day, I brought a lot of joy to people.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You're also, like, especially when it comes to you're sharing special moments with people. If you're DJing their wedding, that's something that they're never going to forget.
Exactly.
So if you think about that, listen, a DJ can make DJ, MC, band, that'll make or break anything.
Yeah.
You could go to a place, the food could suck. The service could suck. If the music is good and they got drinks, everybody had a good time, and that's all people remember.
Do you want to do sales here? Because that's like the number one. That's the number one statement of the basis of a great entertainment company.
Totally.
A great entertainment company can save
the whole thing.
The whole event. Yeah.
You can. There's nothing worse than if people were bored or they weren't alive. Go back to your word, alive. If the music and that's anywhere. If you go to a club, if you go someplace and you go, oh yeah, there was a DJ there. How was he? He sucked. So if you go to a place that's a freaking dive bar and oh my God, that music was kicking.
Can I tell you a story?
Yes.
One quick one.
Go ahead.
And not to toot my horn or whatever.
Okay.
But there's this girl. Connie Giambrone. I probably did her wedding. It's over 20 years.
Okay.
It's over 20 years.
Okay.
It was out in Queens by the airport. Not a crazy fancy joint. Guess what happened? It was a hot summer day.
The air conditioning broke.
Right. They moved the party to the parking lot.
I love it.
I swear to God.
I love it. I would do that.
Because it was cooler.
Cooler in the parking lot.
Outside.
At 100 degrees.
They cleared cars.
That's awesome.
They cleared the cars.
Smart thinking.
We reset. Not everything, because we had, big elaborate setup.
Right.
Enough to push the sound out and get the DJ out there. And we had people dancing in the parking lot with, like a gentle breeze from the plains and LaGuardia and all of that sort of stuff.
God.
And like a little bit on the water there.
That's almost like the cop coming in today.
The cake was freaking melting.
That's great.
And she, to this day, she'll text me through Facebook and say, "You saved the freaking wedding."
Yeah, well, you see?
And I was like, I didn't know what we did. We just reacted to the moment because we needed to create something, and we needed to get people out of that, like, I'm fucking dying.
Yeah.
So we were like, party people, we're taking this outside.
Yep.
It's much cooler.
Plan B.
And bang.
Plan B. Well, I talk about that a lot on my show. Plan B. And
But
that's
sometimes you don't have a plan B. You have to make the
Well,
plan B.
I never do. Well, that's my point. You never have a plan. I mean, I am not that far ahead. I never have a plan B. But you know what? When something happens, that's just the universe telling you that ain't happening. So go with plan B.
Right, exactly.
And you just got to figure it out. And that's called being a professional. And that's also being passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
So, you weren't going to there are a lot of people that would be like, all right, well, screw it. The freaking power went off. Let's pack it up. I ain't going outside and sweating my balls off. I'm not dealing with that. And then that's what a lot of people would have done. And you chose differently. Yeah. So, that's all good. Now, first, thank you guys again for staying in. I know we're a super show, so we are at 10:15. So we've been on now for an hour and 15 minutes. Rob has me up past my bedtime. And, you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy, and you are listening to Mindcandy Mondays with Rob Mush. And we are live on a Tuesday. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and Rob is doing backflips around me here. Rob, do you want to talk about the... Look, everybody's pointing at each other. See, this is a live show. Nobody's paying attention. Hello, pay attention. I'm talking.
You can talk.
Yeah, but you're spinning me around.
I'm directing.
You cannot direct. You need to stop. No directing. Pay attention to me. No. Do you want... Oh, my God. I can't with these guys.
Kidding.
I freaking can't. I can't. Rob, behave.
Love you guys.
Okay, do you want to talk about, you said you do some events, and I hosted an event with you.
Yeah, sure.
Not that long ago. Now, did I hear that something's coming up again?
Yeah, so thank you for the segue. You're the best.
You're very welcome.
So,
it's all about the segue.
So a few years ago, I came up with this idea of a party where I wanted to bring people together to enjoy a throwback scene. And for me, since it was, like one of these ideas that I had of what would it be like to be at one of these clubs that I never got to go to, because of my age, how could we bring that back somehow to, a certain group of mature people. And in addition to that, kind of almost daydream about how it could have been, you know what I'm saying? It's it's got a little bit of that undertone, to it. So I came up with this party called Body Mechanic. And that's the name of the event. And it's only a 3-time-a-year festivity.
Okay.
Right? We're only going to do the party 3 times. Usually it's going to be in the fall, September. We want to do it in March, to be honest. This year it's going to be in April. It's going to be April 13th. And it's new. I mean, we've only done one of them. So it's kind of like a baby. And it's kind of like a thing growing, But there's a lot of momentum for the events. There's a lot of people interested in it. There's a lot of people, they're talking about it because it's the music that we're playing there and the vibe that we're creating that's important. It's a la Funhouse, bebop, freestyle, and a little bit of my Mindcandy house music event. We really don't go any top 40. We don't play hip hop. We keep it in that genre. I built the event in a format that I think keeps everybody on edge, which is part of the way I like to do things. So we layer announcements. We layer in when things are happening. So like we announced the date, but we didn't give the venue. Now we gave the venue. So it's April 13th. It's back at the Copa. We're getting ready and we're lining up the artists and the talent and that sort of stuff. But we very much like to work that way because it keeps that suspense in there. I'm a big fan of, living on the edge a little bit with that sort of stuff. And, I don't think some people like to know what they're kind of getting into, but I think if you layer it in a way, it keeps people, coming back for more. We always, and this is a big part of who I am, are going to, wrap the event with some sort of fundraising to give back to some organization. Like we at Body Mechanic won in September, and we're not going to number them. It's always just going to be Body Mechanic, but it'll be fall, spring, and cusp of summer. That's our plan. We're going to layer in the talent, layer in what's going on, the venue, but more importantly, we want to make sure that we're going to do some sort of fundraising events to give back. We did the TLC, which was an organization for childhood cancer, which is perfect for September. So right now I'm trying to coordinate. We were originally going to go in March this time, but March didn't work, so now we're in April. So I got to just surround myself around the fundraising in April and wrap myself around something that I think makes sense,
right?
So that we can give a little bit back,
right?
And it's just a fun night, It's a fun night. We had Frank C. DJ the first time. I DJ'd a little bit. You hosted. May was there. It was a nice touch. We got lots of plans, for number 2. A lot of them are still in development. It's still early. But, just pay attention. Join the Body Mechanic fan page. Spread the word about that. And it should be good. I mean, we got another great party coming up. The birthday blowout is, around the corner, so please support that. I mean, there's so many great programs and events here on Miami Mike that, we should be supporting. And I think, I think all the events are great. They all have their own identity. They all have a little bit of their fan base. But at the end of the day, I think they're promoting fun and kind of like, what I talked about a little bit, which is living, just, feeling alive for a little while.
Right.
Bringing people together, feeling alive.
And also, it's the old school, thing too. Like when I do my events, and I the DJs that I have on, George, Callie, Chris, DJ Neurotic.
Yeah, how long I know Chris?
Tony Sanapi.
We went to kindergarten together. That's how long I know that guy.
Yes,
I love him like my brother. He's a great dude.
Well, maybe one of these events we can get him in with us because these are all great DJs. And it again, the fact of the matter is that a lot of us now, I mean, luckily you're still married and, to your grammar school sweetheart. Some of us now that are in their 40s and 50s and even 60s, maybe
are
single.
60s coming to our parties?
You know what? Late 50. Yeah, there are some guys, believe it or not, that are like late 50, 60. You don't even know it because they still look pretty damn good.
I love them.
But, we have that now. And so, like, I don't want to go out and listen to the shit music that's on right now.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to any of the artists, but it's a different time, it's a different age group.
Thing.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I get it.
It's not my thing. So
I get it.
It also brings a different crowd. So, if you're playing freestyle and you're playing old school house, you're playing that stuff, that's the genre of people that are going to be there as well. Fun house, whatever you want to call it. Disco. I mean, sometimes with disco, you got to be, sometimes that'll get a little.
It's a fine line.
It's a fine line. You got to watch.
It's a fine line, especially now because when you think about people that were disco,
right,
like real 54 folk.
Right, now you're getting into
like
the 60s
they're like
and
into
better.
their 60s.
Yeah.
No offense.
No,
offense to anyone.
listen, it's all good. Listen, I'd rather be with 60-year-olds than with, 20-year-olds. No offense to the 20-year-olds, but we all know that Karen doesn't deal with little kids. So, I just think that what we're doing, all of us on Miami Mike Radio and our DJs and everything, we're trying to bring back that life to some of us that are living a different life now, right? Because I didn't
but I don't
sign
think it's
up.
only just that. I mean, I think that's a nice part of it, but I just think in general we're, like our love and our passion is being put out there.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter, single, divorced, No,
that's not what I
this,
mean,
that,
though.
the other thing.
I mean that now people, you have to think about this. A lot of people that aren't single, that are married, their kids are grown up now.
Right, so now it's kind of like rekindle that.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
so
I feel the same way.
It's all there. So whatever the reason, it's still all there. So, but people are 50 years old, and better, or 40, 50, 60, whatever the hell old you are.
And we're healthy and young, and we're feeling
good.
We want to go out.
Like, I want to go dance. I want to hear music. Even if you don't want to dance, I want to hear music that I like. I don't want to sit there and hear whatever, So this is what we all try to bring to the table in our own unique way, and like you said so eloquently, bring life. And so, this is our life now. Some of us chose it, some of us didn't. Some people work to get where they are, some people are working to get somewhere. So at some point, we all need a drink at the end of the day, and we all want to hear good music. And that's what it's all about.
I think so.
So I thank all of you DJs for bringing that to us, because, I mean, look, my heart's still pounding from the music you played a half an hour ago, and I should be passed out by now. Right. I would be home listening to my meditation tapes or whatever. That's why they get texting me, you're like, are you still awake? And I'm like, I'm listening to my Deepak Chopra or whatever, and I'm trying to
because I have an idea. I have an idea, and or there's a body mechanic question,
and it's 11 o'clock at night,
and I got it, and I'm still up, and I'm like, I got to get the answer, and I got to figure it out, because tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow starts. Okay, I gotta answer calls. I gotta contour and take care of customers. Then I got to figure out events and this and that, and there's never enough time.
But you're still very good at multitasking, because you have.
Oh, don't ask these guys; they don't think I do a good job.
Well, you know what? You've talked to me about certain things and done 6 things at once and helped me. I had to edit something. You did it all. You were like, boom! All right, you got mail. So I don't know how good you are, but you were good with me. So that's what counts.
Well, look, anybody that's part of the team, I've always, look, that's just in my heart. I like helping people. I mean, I'm
Clearly.
not a selfish kind of guy. If I can help, I'm going to be there in some capacity. I want to be that guy that can help you out, because I don't know. I think it was. I think the prep did that. Believe it or not, I think like the high school help. I think it helped a lot.
I think it was the way you were brought up, though.
Maybe. I think
always
my parents
think it's the way you were brought up. If you're brought up to appreciate. They put
me in those right places,
Well,
like that.
again, but you appreciate, you learn, and you want to give back, because when somebody makes you feel good, you know what it felt like to be made to feel good, and you want to make somebody else feel good.
And
that's all part of the people thing, because I'm the same way. I want everybody to have a good time, And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if 3 people show up. If all 3 people had a freaking blast and they're like, I am coming back, to me, I don't care. There could have been 100 people in there. As long as those 3 people that were there had fun, I'm good.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Is if watching this show, if people had fun watching us tonight,
we did a good job.
Then we did good,
right.
and our job is good, and I feel good now. When I go to bed at night.
Of course.
Whether you call me, text me at 11 o'clock at night.
No, I don't do that.
I can. No, I know. Listen, but we all think that way, and I said it to you today. You were prepping. I said, Rob, do whatever you guys do. And you're type A. Just do what you got to do. I'll walk in there, and whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And I'm type A too, but I know when to, step back, and I'm like, okay, I could just go in there. I was stress-free today. I was like, I don't have to worry about
you don't have to worry about the tech.
stuff. I don't know anything that I'm doing.
Hello, is this mic on?
Testing.
It's not on. It's a dummy. It's a dummy tonight. It's a prop.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, because you love my mic, and this is my mic, and don't touch it.
But I'm going to make sure that you get that hooked up the right way soon.
Yes, well, thank you. I mean, we are hooked up the right way, but I am not very, I am not, look, all of this, I wish I could do all this, and you were showing me how you went on Facebook and you did this and that. Get the hell out. I was lucky I knew my password for you to get on in the computer.
Don't worry, we'll teach you how to copy the stream code. And
I got to learn this, because tell me, guys, I don't know I can't see Facebook Live, but can you guys hit like the like or love button and let me know if you like this setup today? Because how
everyone that's looking and watching,
let us know that we're doing all right, and that, like, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Are we getting them? Are we getting likes? Is there love coming up on our tech support? No? Nobody's there? Nobody loves us?
Awfully quiet.
There's lots of love. There's lots of love coming.
Nobody loves us? Oh, my God. Oh, look at this. Siri is listening to everything I'm saying. I must have pressed the wrong thing on my phone.
Oh, wow. You recorded that whole conversation.
They're coming in? All right. Thank you, guys. Maybe there's a little bit of a delay. Yes, well, we really do appreciate you guys, watching us, and I appreciate everybody here tonight that made me look good, because we got all these cameras.
Big shout out to Brian, Scott, and Jason, too, who helped out with the little hiccup of the tech early on. Stinks when you have to
Rob was yelling at everybody.
It stinks that you have to download a new driver, but sometimes you have to do that to make the software.
He did it, and he did it just in the nick of time.
And we made it work.
Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, it's funny because shit happens sometimes.
I know, especially on a live show. Look, we had the cop come in. I mean,
I can't wait to review seeing the cop.
All right, but wait, I have a question for you now. I would like to know what people think about the show. But, this was fun, and I love the fact that I didn't have to do anything. No. So can we do this again?
Yeah, we could definitely do it again.
Can we do this again?
Let's look at our calendars and,
have your people talk to my people, and we'll figure it out.
I'll let these guys talk to your people.
Yes,
and then,
my people.
Then they'll review it with us.
I'll get my dog on the phone. I am the people.
It can't be every month, but maybe every 6-8 weeks.
Do it.
But I appreciate what you're doing right now on MMR, which is
thank you.
You're doing, you're taking the show on the road a little bit, which is nice. It's also it's a very anxious and nervous kind of situation, because
especially when I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Because the tech always doesn't cooperate, and it could either be your best friend or be your worst enemy. So that sort of stuff, that's great that you're doing that. Keep up the good work there. Kudos.
Thank you.
Salute. And we'll think about another show down the road. We'll figure that out.
I mean, it's fun. Obviously, whenever, I know you're only doing it once a month right now, so you need your Mondays. I don't want to take up your music, because we already talked so much. But we can.
But you never know. Come the spring or the summer, there could be a Mindcandy Monday, and then a combo Tuesday.
SUPASHOW.
We'll see. Whatever it is. At this point, if we're giving the people great entertainment and a little bit of time to break away and forget about things,
absolutely,
I think we've done a good job.
Absolutely. Well, what's better than listening to people, shoot the shit and then get to listen to music. So, all good. I appreciate it. I was dancing over there. I burned a few calories. And I want to thank both of the gentlemen here behind the scenes that are helping us. And of
Scott
course,
and Brian, best in the business.
There we go. And of course, Mr. Mush.
Thank you, Karen.
Mr. Rob Mush, for having me here and coming up with this great idea. We talked about doing the show, but the combo thing I think it was a cool thing. I had fun.
I did, yeah. I want to DJ a little bit longer.
No, you're going to.
I don't care if the cops come in. I want to go maybe another 15, 20 minutes.
I don't
because
think
you know what I used to do, right? On every...
You went overtime a lot, didn't you?
That was easy, because that's easy. That's my personal...
I haven't gotten text from Mike yet, so we're good.
That's my personal place, and I love going OT if I could, because I'm in the moment.
Right.
Here, there's tenants upstairs, there's people across the street that calling the cops. We'll figure that out. But, I used to do a theme party. once a month.
Yes, so I remember that.
If you remember.
Yep.
Where I would break away from the house music anthems and the vocals.
Yep.
And I would just kind of create a moment, in time for a lot of people.
Are you going to create a moment in time for me?
I think I will. Because I used to be a big patron of North Avenue, Streets, New Rochelle.
Never went.
In the college days, Dublin Pub. God, I mean, the list goes on and on. I probably need Frank C., the freaking encyclopedia here. He would give me, more places. My brain is shot. It's amazing how I find like I can remember a lot of things, but there's certain things you can't remember anymore. And then you meet other people, and they remember those exact moments in time.
My girlfriend
and you're
like that.
You're like, holy moly! How did you remember that?
Well, I didn't even remember his name. What are you kidding me? Like they remember names, times, places,
where you were, exact things. So like
you had that red outfit on. What?
God bless them. So, but I may do a little some like new wave, which I know you like, and I know you like a little bit of that rock and roll. So maybe I'll do a little bit of that for you since it's your show and you invited me on, and it was kind of like our idea of
it's our show.
Combining. It's your show. I'm on your show, but thank you for adjusting to my schedule. I couldn't make it last night either, so when we planned this, about a month ago or so, I was just glad it all worked out.
Me too. So, fun stuff.
Thank you very much.
All good. Thank you. You're the bestest.
All right.
All right. So thank you, everybody. You have been listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy and
thank you so much.
Rob Mush, Mindcandy Monday, Tuesday. And we thank you guys all. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And we really are live. And we are live on Facebook in my group page. So Rob is going to take it away now, and he's going to play some music that's going to keep me up for another 6 hours.
Yeah. So I'm going to take everybody to the streets of New Rochelle for 15, 20 minutes, okay?
Nice.
Before the cops come back.
All right. Let's see how long before the cops come.
All right. Let's try our best.
We got the Bronx in the house.
All right. Here we go. All right.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Funky Cole Medina.
You're live, Rob. You turn up your speaker a little bit.
You're listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush, live from New York City on MiamiMikeRadio.com.
All right, 15 minutes of fun, 100% live. Mindcandy, Monday, Tuesday. Rob Mush in the building. Thank you so much. We hope everybody enjoyed the show. Somebody get my cell phone. I want to check in while we're in the mix. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
You're listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush, live from New York City on MiamiMicRadio.com.
All right, so I think we're back because, the Facebook gods are evil. I don't understand why they think everything needs to be shut down. We're not selling anything. But you know what, Karen? Show must go on. And we're back live. Let's do it. 10 more minutes.
Hot steamy night alone, I wait for you. Cold winter morning alone, and I cry for you.
But if you listened to Rob Mush and you were on the TuneIn app, you would have never lost anything. All you social media son of a guns. You want to be on the Facebook, I understand. I get it. All right, 10 minutes, let's go.
Those days and nights I was good to you. They must not have meant very much to you. The night I needed you.
Aaron, I'm going to the fun house. You better be ready.
My cries fell on deaf ears, and I'm running so hard to find it.
as we take you home. Bye-bye. Rob Bush, Karen Stacy, signing off.
Is it love that turns you on, or infatuation? Ain't no need to be become an obsession. Was it love? Forget infatuation. Ain't no need to be become an obsession. Was it forget infatuation. You're listening to Mindcandy Mondays with DJ Rob Bush, live from New York City on MindCandyMicRadio.com.